There's your old buddy, Dr. Gratuola. Back in 1957, had a few hits on Starday Records out of Beaumont, Texas. Now, living up here in Missouri and living out, dreaming of those days when I was a rock and roll star. I collect comic books, records. You youngsters call them vinyls. Foolish sons of bitches. But up here, life has no value. All we live is for the next Donald Trump rally. So it's the Gratuorloff Show, episode 595, I believe. Is that correct? Something like that. Damn it. Thought I'd do a live stream. Just got off a live stream with Horror Mike out of Florida. We went for hours talking about things that probably shouldn't be talked about by human beings on YouTube. But that's what goes. We got one viewer. Our sponsor tonight is Mujer X Perfume. It's HO in Mexico. That means made in Mexico for you gringos. Mujer X. This is one of the X-Men spinoffs from the 1990s. Marvel put out this officially sanctioned perfume. Marvel comic books. Hold on. Yes. Make sure to hold my calls for the next short while. I'm going live here on StreamYard. Thank you. Fuck you.
E quem disse que isso é problema meu?
Yes, indeed.
Oh my. You are fake news.
All right. So let's take a look. Horror Mike was talking about Warren magazines. And I went on and things kind of diverted to politics because I didn't realize that the two gentlemen I was talking to were part of Comicsgate, which is something before my time. And so things got a little political. Let's see, what can we show here? You ever heard of this band? I haven't either. I got this in the mid or early 1980s. It was in a record store or something. It's a band called Rotting Corpse. Look at that. This light is. This lamp just stopped working. I'll show you. Maybe you can see. God, I can't even move this camera. I've got I'm on a computer, so I'm not as mobile as I normally am. But anyway, the lamp, Jesus fucking. This is I got one of these stupid ring lights here. It's about to crash to its death. I hate this fucking light. Oh, we lost a viewer. You were worthless anyway. How dare you? Rotting Corpse. Anyway, it's some heavy metal band. I thought this was funny. I just thought it was a horribly drawn illustration. Total death, thrash, speed, hardcore metal. All posers will die. Oh, look at this Justice League comic I just found. Boy, this lighting sucks. Let me try something. What if we tried natural light? What if I open the drapes? I've never even done that since I moved into this house. You know that? Ah, god damn it. Did I fuck that light up? I hope I did. Son of a bitch. Horrible. Horrible fluorescent light. I can't stand it. Hold on. Who is the one person watching? Who is the masochist? Oh, look, it's actually moving. Oh, wow, man. Let's see, how is this lighting? It's actually better. It's normal human lighting from the sun. Oh, that's cool. I can't turn the computer around, so I'll take a picture and I'll show it to you. All right. See, this 50s lamp just stopped working. So I opened this window here and now I can see out. And I'm getting natural lighting from, I have one little artificial light. Let me turn that off and see what we get. This could open up a whole new wonderful world of light. Oh, now it's normal. Okay, I have no artificial light except for the light from back there. Now I'm actually have light from outside. Far superior. Now let's see if the colors look better here. Justice League of America, Crisis on Earth S. One time, DC Comics, every summer there'd be a crisis, and the Justice League of America and the Justice Society of America would have to team up. Quite wonderful days. So what are you guys doing on this wonderful Sunday? There's probably some major football game on because I don't see not many people here. There's a British comic, The Mighty World of Marvel. The Incredible Hulk and the Fantastic Four. The Hulk started the TV series, so I guess the Hulk show got over there to the BBC or whatever network they've got over there. And look at this British Star Wars comic. Look how, is that Luke Skywalker? Look at how Luke Skywalker goes into battle with his legs spread like a prostitute. Seems like you want to have your legs together to like hit the guy in the jaw. Yeah, that's Luke Skywalker, all right. Kind of embarrassing his pose. The Adventures of the Invincible Iron Man. He's real shiny. Look at all the little shininess. Iron Man Power, Iron Man Drama, Iron Man Action. Yeah, we were talking on the live stream with Horror Mike, and Paulo came on, and Apex Comics was on earlier on. We were talking about the state of the world and all of that, which is bad. But here, Jesus. Yeah, the comics were printed in black and white over there in Mother England. I think this is British. Sax Rohmer, Fu Manchu, Two Complete Adventures. It's inside is very ancient comic strips about Fu Manchu. Is it British? I don't know. Malibu Graphics. Oh, if anyone wants to come on, I haven't put there's a comment in the comment section. Usually I put this, Paula's saying, the show keeps on going. Yeah. Let me invite people if anyone is stupid enough to want to come on this show. Let's see, invite. I'm going to put the address on how to come into this show in the chat, and then any of you morons can come on in. Come on in, man. Look, it's Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham, with the Hulk Bunny and Captain Americat. Yep, sure enough. This was a very, very good comic book, ladies and gentlemen. It's Captain Americat. Forgot I had this. How about that? There's an ad for Lone Star Comics, which was my my local comic book store back when I was a waif, a small youth. Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham. This is far superior to Miles Morales. I'll have you know. Let's see. Paulo says, and the show keeps on going. Again, he's referring to the stream that just ended. If you go to Horror Mike, the great authority on pre-code horror comics, he just did a stream that got hijacked, probably by me, into politics, and I apologize for that. And then Go away says hello, new fan here. I believe you're from England, is that correct? Go away. I think, did I get that correct? You're from England? I don't know. All right. Here's a ripoff of Vampirella from Atlas Seaboard called Devilina. This light is a problem with the sun. Anyway, it's anyone's welcome to come on. Just click the link. This was a short-lived company, lasted less than a year. I don't even know if it lasted half a year. Atlas Seaboard around late 74, early 75. See inside, it looks like a Warren magazine. Oh, the smell of old comic book paper is sure wonderful. I love House of Mystery and House of Secrets. Yeah, I've got lots of those back here. This is this is Devilina. I meant to ask Paulo, and he's apparently watching, whether he can get copies of Zaccarella. This is Zaccarella is a Portuguese Vampirella kind of comic, and it has amazing covers. We were looking at those in the last live stream. Oh, I see. Yes, here is Devilina. Of course, let's see. And see, she's got a little devil head on her bikini bottom. The Marvel had a devil girl too called Satana, and she was the sister of the son of Satan. And then they had another girl named Lilith that was the daughter of Dracula. There's a printing error here that caused the pages to be printed over. You see how the page is printed too big and it's folded over, and it's how about that? OS says Sergio Aragonis lives near me. Met him in the supermarket once. Love your shows. Where is that? Is that in the United States or somewhere else? I don't know where. I used to pronounce it Sergio Aragonis. My wife knows how to speak Spanish. That was her first language, and she was trying to teach me how to pronounce it correctly. And I think it's more like Sergio. Paulo could help as well. Let's see. What does Got Away say? I'll come back shortly. Dinner time over here. Okay, yeah, it's probably. I still haven't eaten breakfast. I'm waiting for. We've got to go. We're gonna go capture a kangaroo and behead it and have it for dinner. But I haven't. I'm waiting for my golf cart to get electrically charged, so we can go out into the wilderness and capture a kangaroo. Oh, she's in California. Oh, you know what? It was in the last stream. There was a girl from England that had a similar profile picture, and and she was from England. I got you mixed up. Got away with that other girl. Sorry. It was, dinner time in California. Yes, indeed. 6 viewers. Yes, this is a wonder. We haven't even really looked at this book, have we? Oh, look, it's got an adaptation of William Shakespeare, The Tempest. So this is highbrow literature, I'll have you know. Very 1970s. Sure is. Oh, boy, that's great. Atlas Seaboard. I was just showing Horror Mike that I found the script I wrote back in 1987. Well, I had a friend that I met in 1984 named Thomas C. Ranoni. We went to the same high school. I didn't know him in high school. He was a couple years older than me, but I met him in 1984 in college. And we had a similar interest in EC comics and James Bond and horror films and all kinds of. We basically saw eye to eye, and he had a bunch of friends too. So suddenly I had a whole bunch of friends that were all into the same stuff I'm into, which now I've got a whole bunch of friends that are into the same stuff as me, but they live all over the country and even the world. And we meet every Wednesday night on a show called Four Color Fossils on the Graphic Man channel here on the YouTube network. But back then, I had a bunch of friends that were all living near me. And so all of a sudden, you know, before I was this lonely outcast, now I could Friday, Saturday, or any night, you know, just call them up and we could go out for a beer and go see movies and rent VHS tapes and laugh at them. And we had suddenly I had this big network of friends, and my friend Tom Ranoni was in a filmmaking program at UTA in Arlington, Texas, and so I helped him make his student film, and everything was cool. You know, all of a sudden I had this big group of friends. I think it's about that time period, that 1984, that I stopped buying as many new comic books. I still was buying old Fantastic Four from the 60s and Doom Patrol. And I'd buy new stuff because that's when Dave Stevens art was coming out. And I'd buy, but I kind of, the mainstream Marvel and DC was starting to lose. I mean, see, before in DC, they had all these different Earths and they would meet every so often. And so you'd have an old Batman that was started in the 1930s on this Earth. And then you had a Batman that's still a young guy on this other alternate Earth. And they'd meet, and that was cool. But then they had Crisis on Infinite Earths where they blew up every Earth except for one and put all the heroes on. And it just, they got rid of everything I loved in Superman and all the stuff that some people consider cheesy from the Silver Age. It was all gotten rid of. And now I have new interest because, you know, all these, and I started getting into movie poster collecting, which is something that, because my friend Tom that I met, he showed me all these stores in Dallas where you can buy one sheets and half sheets and inserts. And I learned all this terminology because he was a movie poster collector. And that was a lot of fun to learn about that and start collecting movie posters and lobby cards, you know. So I was always collecting records. So I was always collecting a lot of things. I'd have a much better world-class comic book collection if I stuck to just collecting comic books. But I'm sorry, I got diversified out. And anyway, one Friday evening, we went to the Arlington Cinema 4, which is now a church in Arlington, Texas, and we saw a new movie that was out based on H.P. Lovecraft called The Reanimator. And boy, we loved it. Even though I was kind of shocked at the opening credits scene, the music was a complete ripoff of the music from Psycho. I thought, how did they get away with it? But I forgot about that once I got into the movie. It was just great. Everything I loved about life was there in that movie. And so my friend wanted to make horror movies in Hollywood. And ultimately he did. But and I'm talking about him in past tense because he's passed away, but just so you know. But so he was making a movie for school called Armageddon Fabulosa about this crazy preacher that had this cult out in the wilderness, and he was waiting for the apocalypse, and he had all these machine guns and weapons ready to fight all the monsters that come out of the Book of Revelations. And of course, my friend's brother was a Class C machine gun dealer. He was a major seller. He had machine guns, all in his garage, so they could make not many people have access to all these weapons, so it made his movie look so much bigger budget. And like a World War II vehicle, because they collected World War II vehicles. And my friend came from a family with a little bit of money, and my friend Tom's dad was a wealthy dentist that was the dentist for the Texas Rangers baseball team, and he started buying art in the 1950s and selling art. And he was laughed at by the other art dealers. They said, "Yo, you're dealing in that commercial art. That stuff's worthless," because he was buying Norman Rockwell paintings. And in the 1950s, Norman Rockwell paintings were just like, "Oh, that's cheesy junk that was made for magazine covers. That's not true art." Well, he had the last laugh because, I go into my friend's house and the walls were just decked with paintings, and paintings were stacked up against the walls. All these major artists and mostly it was all those artists that did paintings of cowboys in the Old West. I don't know what were their names, like a lot of famous artists and sculptures of cowboys. And anyway, so he sold art to people like George Bush and shit like that. They would come over to the house to, famous people would come over and buy art from them. And then he lived just down the street from me, and he'd been there, I'd lived there since 1976. So that's good 8 years. I could have had this friend, but I didn't even know he was down the street from me in this nice house next to where the mayor lived. And anyway, so I had this friend, and we loved horror movies and gore movies, and we rented VHS tapes like crazy because finally you could watch movies uncut because they were coming out on VHS tape, and you could rent them and see all these movies. They weren't widescreen like they are now, but finally you could see uncut movies if you hadn't seen them in the theater. And we loved Herschel Gordon Lewis movies. Well, one day I see in the student newspaper that Herschel Gordon Lewis is coming to give a lecture at the college, but not because he made gore movies. He's coming to talk because he's talking about direct marketing. He was an expert in direct marketing, direct from Florida. So in other words, he was going to teach you how to send junk mail out to people and make money with junk mail, right? So anyway, I told my friend about it. And he went and met Herschel Gordon Lewis and said, "Hey, I know you from your other career from several decades back when you made these gore films." And they said, he said, "I'd like to make a movie with you." And so Herschel Gordon Lewis came back a week or so later. He flew in just to talk to my friend and his family. And I went and had my picture taken with him. It's here somewhere. But the idea, there was a movie that was notorious back in the early days of VHS called Faces of Death. And it was a most of it, 90% of it was fake. Some of the footage was real, but it was supposed to be footage of real people dying or dead or having, autopsies. It was a movie people would dare each other to watch and gross people out and make them puke, whatever. And you don't often see an ad like that, or an ad for this in one of these black and white horror magazines. This is the second issue of Devilina, the Vampirella imitation. Someone just left a comment. So, Spinner X says, "It's the Grotto of old. I am just amazed. I don't have to pay money for this entertainment. It's like Johnny Mathis, Elvis Presley, and all of the other crooners, early rockers, and country stars rolled up into one." Spinner X Studios is commenting on my 400th subscriber party that I had several episodes back, where I was singing very well. What the fuck was I talking about? This never happens on CNN. They don't forget what they're talking about. I wish I was like CNN, honest reporting. What the fuck? My friend. Herschel Gordon Lewis. Well, anyway, Faces of Death. Well, the idea, they hired this actor to be the doctor that narrates Faces of Death, and he was Dr. Gross. So we said, let's make a parody, like an airplane style parody, Kentucky Fried Movie style parody of Faces of Death. We'll call it Faces of Pain and Dismemberment. We'll get Herschel Gordon Lewis, the filmmaker, to be the doctor that narrates the movie, and we'll call it Herschel Gordon Lewis's Faces of Pain and Dismemberment, since he's got a marquee value to sicko gorehounds like us. And so we were going to make this movie, and it was all negotiated. And then, my friend ran into Alice Cooper in a hotel lobby and said, I'm going to be making this movie with Herschel Gordon Lewis, possibly. And Alice Cooper says, oh, really? Here, let's sit down. We need to talk. Alice Cooper wanted to be in the movie. Everybody wanted to be in this movie. Ultimately, he had a whole bunch of people that were going to be in it. Karen Black, all these people would have been in it. But and it got optioned to Roger Corman's studio. I helped him write the script. So what I'm leading to is I just found the script that I wrote with my friend Tom for that parody, and it ultimately never got made. But my friend later on directed horror movies. He was a supervisor of special effects in Hollywood. I'll get to that in a minute, but he directed several music videos, one for Motorhead, I think for a song called Sacrifice. It's got a lot of World War II footage mixed in. He did one for the Revolting Cocks, Do You Think I'm Sexy? And he did one for the Ramones, which was a cover of the Who's Substitute. And in that one, you can see he packed that video filled with a bunch of people that would have been in that Faces of Pain and Dismemberment. But ultimately, we changed the name from Faces of Pain and Dismemberment to, look, she's anti-Satan, to They Saved Elvis's Brain, because one of the segments in this movie was going to be about this cult that worshipped Elvis's brain and everything. So anyway, I found the script. Shit. Piss fuck. Goddamn fucking shit. All right, it's okay. I'm being a real bastard here and not taking the tape off. I almost had an accident there, ladies and gentlemen. 5 people watching? Wow, I'm famous, man. I'm like Comic Book Tom. Someday I'll be famous like Comic Book Tom. Man, that's my goal. Yes. How about that, Comic Book Tom? I'm not talking about Tom, my friend. That's a different Tom. So anyway, here's Vampirella #1, and I got it Cosmic Comics in Grand Prairie back in 1980s. It's not it looks a lot better than it really is. If you look closely, the little missing paper, that paper is there because this thing's gotten so hot over the years. It's about as brittle as leaves in November on your front lawn, ladies and gentlemen. Vampirella #1. They were talking about Vampirella #1 on the last live stream. That's why I was in the shower listening to Horror Mike, and I said, well, hey, let me get on. And of course, the whole thing got derailed to talking about Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum and everything. But I'll tell you, anyway. So what happened then? My friend went to the newspaper staff there on the campus and said, "Hey, I can get you an interview with this guy, Herschel Gordon Lewis." And so he interviewed him and wrote it up for the local paper, the Shorthorn. And then once we saw the Reanimator, he called up Stuart Gordon and Brian Houston and interviewed them and wrote that in the local paper. And because that was the way he got in, kind of as like he's a reporter, and say, hey, I'm working for this paper. Can I interview? And so it sounds better than I'm just like some guy calling you up randomly wanting to talk to you. And they liked my friend Tom, and they got along really well. And then they invited him out to help make movies with them. And so he worked on Bride of Reanimator 2 and all kinds of movies, Wishmaster. He did tons of movies out in Hollywood, and finally came back to to Texas, and 20 years in Hollywood. But anyway, let me show you the script. We just moved from Texas up here to Wisconsin, and I was afraid this had gotten lost in the move. But it's called They Saved Elvis's Brain script. And this is my illustration here. Banned on 4 continents, it says. What does that say there? Special effects by the same team. So once it got out that he was going to work with Herschel Gordon Lewis, this guy, I think he was in New York, this young guy named Roy Kinneram, I think was his name, contacted my friend Tom. He was a guy that was doing special effects in his parents' garage and gore effects, and said, hey, and I guess he was corresponding with Herschel Gordon Lewis. So Herschel Gordon Lewis thought, oh, I'm going to be making this film project with this youngster in Texas. So this kid calls him from New York. He says, hey, you need to contact this guy in Texas, and maybe you can get in with him on the movie that we're going to make. So we all of a sudden have this new friend in New York. And at some point, I think it was through him, we got to see a VHS cassette like a year before it came out of this movie that we loved called Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. But we saw that movie. We had it on VHS long before it came out. We thought that was great. And it had music by the Cramps in it, which was cool. I liked that. That was a band. This bit down here, this bit here was not drawn by me. It says unethical medical research. This part, that is my art there. It says C. Psychotic Vietnam vets battle the hordes of Caesar. So that's supposed to be like Rambo. We knew this guy that was a bodybuilder that kind of looked like that was going to be like the Rambo type character. And then we're going to have a segment in the movie where Rambo rescues Jesus and carries him over his shoulder away from Golgotha and starts shooting all the Roman soldiers with machine guns. And then what is this here? Women with no clothes on attacked by flesh-eating ghouls. So that's also my artwork. Oh, that reminds me. That guy back there with a cowboy hat, Hazel Adkins, was going to be in the script. Was going to be in this. Hazel Adkins was the great rockabilly guy that did the song She Said and No More Hot Dogs. He was this guy in the 50s that put out these. He was a one-man band, and he put out these records about cutting off his girlfriend's head and hanging it on the wall. Just insane stuff. He was in West Virginia, I believe. And so we met him through some mutual friends, and he was going to be in the script too. So I see him in the background. A gruesome journey into the many faces of pain and dismemberment. That's a little nod to the original title. So it's a actual script that my friend had some ideas, and I kind of wrote it up. He was kind of like the Jack Kirby, and I was like the Stan Lee, you know, putting his because he had great ideas, but he really couldn't put them into words, and that's what he needed me for. So anyway, so it's a script. It actually almost got made. But this other little book here is, I guess, little sketches that, and this I believe was done by that guy, Roy Kinneram, The Wizard of Gore, H.G. Lewis. So I guess this is to show people kind of what the movie might look like. It's kind of like pre-production art. And I don't remember, there was a Santa Claus. Oh yeah, it was Sergeant Santa Claus and his Howling Elves, or so. It was like a parody of Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos, but it was Santa Claus. I remember that. I'd have to reread the script. I haven't read the script since. I didn't remember exactly when. I spent like a whole summer over at my friend's house, you know, his parents' house, working on the script with him. I think he paid me, I don't know, $500-600, which seemed like a lot of money then. I was just doing it because I was his friend and it was fun. But I'm on here as the co-writer. But he owns the script, but he's passed away, so I guess the copyright goes on to his family. My friend Horror Mike just looked up the copyright and see it says the copyright's still good. So all this, don't steal this because it's copywritten. Anyway, so this is my illustration here. That's supposed to be Herschel Gordon Lewis there. And it says, as I continue to probe the dark mysteries of death and its cousins, pain and dismemberment, I learn not to fear death, but to respect and love it. See, if I'd written that DC Comics Sandman, you would have had death, but then you'd have pain and dismemberment, the cousins. Just imagine. Dismemberment is a physical entity. This is, they saved Elvis's brain. This is an Elvis, it says High Priest Roy on his belt buckle. And they've got Elvis's brain in this jar. And there's some cult members praying. The Forum 303 Mall, which is a mall that lives in my memories. It's been torn down in Arlington, Texas. It was a wonderful mall. I did a video where I just talked about the Forum Mall, and it's gotten 2,000 views because people type in Forum 303 Mall. People that grew up at the same time as me in that area, they'll type it into YouTube hoping someone has some footage of that mall, and nobody does. But they stumble on my video and watch it, and I get all these views. And anyway, one time there was a mall that was amazing. It had everything, the movie theaters and bookstore that had famous monsters, all the Warren magazines, Monster Times. It had a great record store. It had a great gag gift store called Helen Gallagher's, a great arcade with video arcade with a carousel in it. And anyway, one time I went there and there was this Elvis impersonator. It sounded like Elvis, but it looked like Tiny Tim's less attractive cousin with this giant beak of a nose, and we got footage of him. And then my friend Tom's brother got that guy to come perform at a party at his house, and so we kind of befriended this Elvis impersonator that he was going to be in the movie. He would have been great. You know, it's just one of those things. Like you see Tiny Tim, I'm laughing, and it's 1967. He's an instant star because he's such a freak. And this guy, Roy Davis, would have been great. And then apparently in the script, we have like the living dead being used as hired help, you know, zombies mowing yards. I think this has been used since then. A lot of ideas from this script have gone on and been used by other people. And Tom did things in some of his videos, like the video he did for the Revolting Cocks called Do You Think I'm Sexy? That one had these these go-go dancers dancing with the spiral and these lighting, this lighting that was copied by Quentin Tarantino in From Dusk Till Dawn. And I think my friend mentioned it to Quentin Tarantino because he'd run into these people, he would out there, and I think he admitted to it. And anyway, so the living dead were going to be used in some segment in this movie as doing menial chores. And here the living dead was going to be like working in a 7-Eleven, and this guy here that I can tell that must have been, it was supposed to be this guy that we knew in a band called Rigor Mortis named Casey Orr. I think that was supposed to be him because that looks just like him, a guy I knew since junior high. He's smashing the fake head on the zombie that's the checkout clerk in the 7-Eleven. See, they've got Slurpee and then Help Jerry's Kids. It's kind of politically incorrect. It says here, juvenile delinquents take great delight in smashing the smiley faces. Yeah, it's got my signature there. The centuries-old practice of cockfighting draws gamblers from near and far. So we're going to have stop-motion animated penis creatures fighting. This was going to be kind of lowbrow, I guess. Humor. An Evening with Groucho. And then this sketch was not done by me. I don't remember if this was done by my friend George, but who did it. But Elvis's brain has eyes and crab like legs and a pompadour, and that gives it scale. It's kind of like a Willis O'Brien drawing, giving you scale on how big this thing is. So this would have been stop motion animation too. And then there's Elvis's brain climbing a mountain. That is not my art. I think that's my friend George, who later went on to do all the advertising for the Six Flags Corporation. Or I think it was, or it was if it wasn't him, this is my illustration. Elvis's brain seeks a mate. See, it's grabbing her bed, very Fay Wray like. Where's everybody? I only got 5 people watching. This is Godzilla versus Jesus. I don't know how we thought we were going to get permission to use Godzilla. I'm sure it would have just been a giant lizard, and not called Godzilla. I don't know. Is that sacrilegious? I guess as long as Jesus wins, it's not sacrilegious. If you have Godzilla beating him, oh boy. A really big duck. There's going to be a duck attack. I think there was like an alligator attack in Faces of Death where this alligator eats a guy. I think that was a parody of that. This is a superhero that I came up with, Unfucking Believable Man. And he's shooting, the bazooka is shooting a bunch of skulls that are biting this guy. By the way, I think I'm going to start doing paintings as a side hustle. The youngsters call it, as a way to make some extra money. Because in Biden's America, I just put $60 worth of gas in my car. But luckily, that $60 will last more than a month because the movie theater is 2 blocks away. The restaurants we eat at are even closer. One's about 2 blocks more. City Hall's right there. I mean, everything. We're right next to I can walk to anything. So, let's see. Ga-awa says, I catered a luncheon for Fay Wray in the late 80s at her home. Boy, that's cool. My only brush with Fay Wray is they ran the original King Kong in a movie theater, projected 35 millimeter in Dallas, and Fay Wray was there. And she walked down the aisle, and I was in the aisle seat, and right past me, and I waved to her. She went up and talked a little bit about her career that consisted of being in just a few horror movies. Well, she was in some other stuff, but she's remembered for a few horror movies, and that's about it. But she was fantastic in King Kong and all the movies. She was great. I wish her career had gone on, but the thing that struck me is was a very, I'm sure Gawe can attest that she's very tiny. And the only other guy I saw that was that short, besides my friend Tom, he was pretty short too, but was when they had the world premiere of RoboCop in Dallas, because they filmed it in Dallas, even though it was supposed to be in New Detroit. Peter Weller, the RoboCop guy, he's the guy's about 2 feet tall. He looks bigger in the movies. You know, Buckaroo Banzai, which is another good movie, great movie. That was like an attempt to make a Doc Savage movie. This is Drug Crazed Killers. Now, my friend had he would laugh hysterically. Right next to Lone Star Comics was a costume store, I remember, where it later became a Napa Auto Parts or something. But in the window, there was a giant gingerbread costume. And I remember my friend thinking, that'll be a great prop in a movie, that gingerbread suit, because you just have him robbing a store, killing people. It'll be hilarious. Because when he saw something like that, his first instinct was to think something diabolical and horrible. So, so he bought it apparently. So, and he later used that in the video, the Ramones video for Substitute. You can see that costume and this Frosty costume. But anyway, let's see, I even did the letters like Mad Magazine. Let's see. And this is Tragedy in the Pit of Lust. Some guy parachuting down and being killed by girls. The Tanning Beds of Fort Worth. Let's see what people are saying in the comments. My name pronounced go away. My pick is W. My pick is W. Okay, I was pronouncing it ga. Oh, I never realized it was go away, but I thought it was ga away, like you're saying it in a British way or something. I don't know. Okay, go away. Go, yes, like Van Gogh. Okay, away. My profile pic is Jackie Curtis, and I'm a guy from, I thought you were a girl, and I'm a guy from Oakview, California. I grew up in Hollywood. Cool. Yes, I thought some goth girl was watching. Of course not. John Gora is, Gotham, Gotham City Comics says hello. John Gora says, I like Peter Weller of Unknown Origin with the Giant Rat. Yeah, I think the only female fan of is in England that watches the show, and my wife doesn't even watch the show. It's hard to get her to watch it without falling asleep. She thinks I'm obnoxious in the show. Gotham City Comics. Yeah, hey, I'm going to send that painting off to you tomorrow. I've got a bunch of other paintings. I just pulled some from the basement. I got some in the garage that I painted 10 years ago. And I need to get rid of some of the paintings because they're pictures of a previous, like a girl that I dated back then before I met my wife, and I don't really want them in the house anymore. And it's like, maybe someone will buy them. I would like paint Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein, but I paint her face on Bride of Frankenstein. So if you want a Frankenstein picture where the Bride of Frankenstein doesn't look quite right, or I could maybe repaint the face and just keep it. I'm trying to sell these paintings to somebody or trade them for comics or anything, man. Just get them out of the house. And yes, Fay Ray was tiny. Yes, very tiny. Makes the ape look even bigger. Yeah. Tanning Beds of Fort Worth. In the Faces of Death movie, there was a scene where they have a monkey and they have his head coming through the top of a table, and these elite people are hitting it on the head with hammers, killing it, and then they take the brains and eat them. And that was fake, but everyone watching the movie thought it was real and were horrified by it. So my friend said, let's have a dwarf. So it says, if I can get closer to God by eating dwarf brains, then why not? So that's one of those politically incorrect things that you could not do today. Destroyer of Our Youth. Here's this comic book, The Flaming Fireball, has inspired this kid to burn himself. This is my drawing. These are all my drawings, except for when I tell you they're not. Lucky Luke gives spiritual comic book to sinners. It's like This Is Your Life. It's one of those Jack Chick tracks. Let's see what people are saying. Your work reminds me of something between R. Crumb and Daniel Johnston stuff. Yeah, Daniel Johnston was great. He was obsessed with Captain America and Casper and the Devil. Everything was an illustration of those three, or one, or a combination of them. Gotham City, someone was asking for bride merch yesterday, but I didn't have anything. That doesn't look like the Lucky Luke I know. I think we didn't know about the Lucky Luke. That was a European comic strip. I don't think we knew about that. I don't know. I'd have to read the script to even remember what Lucky Luke was even in the script. This is seriously stuff I have not looked at since the 80s, because, when my friend went to Hollywood, he left on kind of bad terms. So I tried not to even think about him for 20 years while he was in Hollywood, and he came back and he called me up, or showed up in front of my house with a World War II personnel carrier, like a big giant truck that the soldiers would ride in, because he and his brothers collected World War II vehicles. And it was like, oh, nothing's wrong. It's like, because when he left for Hollywood, he was mad at me because I was still friends with his friend, and they had a falling out over a girl. And he says, well, and I was still friends with both of them. I wasn't really taking sides. And he got mad at me. It was like a little junior high school girl thing. And so he just said, well, you kind of, basically it was kind of dead to him. But he forgot about that somehow. It says, stuntman attempts to jump from airplane without a parachute onto a speeding remote-controlled motorcycle. He misses. So I'm not sure how we would have done that effect. Probably with a little miniature. Let me see what's going on here. That doesn't, okay. My wife says, have you eaten at all today, Grotz? No, I almost did, but I haven't eaten yet. So my wife may, do you want to go eat, or do you want me to get something to eat? If so, I can get something to eat. Paulo says, there's a Lucky Luke movie starring Terrence Hill, who also played Trinity in the spaghetti Western. Okay, yeah, I'm sure my friend knew about that, because he was really into spaghetti Westerns, like all true cool people are. But I didn't. I mainly knew about the Clint Eastwood ones. But my friend was far deeper into film trivia. He was, my friend was kind of like a less annoying version of Quentin Tarantino as far as his knowledge. He looked a lot like a very young Malcolm McDowell when he was young. Of course, when he was older, he looked, when he, in his last years, he looked more like Ron Jeremy. And there were people that would come up to him and ask him if he was Ron Jeremy and want to get his autograph. And when people ask you that, that's, and then they would get kind of upset when he wouldn't admit that he was Ron Jeremy, because they just like, come on, obviously you are Ron Jeremy. Come on. I have no idea what to do. Do you want me to call you? Or let me go ask her what I should do. Because I could take you guys with me to get the food, and because I could join the stream with my phone, and then I don't know. Let's go see what's going on. I'll be back, ladies and gentlemen. Where's my, oh man, my wallet fell out of my pants while I was sitting there. This is dangerous. All right. Now we have 12 people watching. People would rather watch when I'm not on. When I left, there was just a few. Let's see here. That's what people are saying here. Anyway, I went upstairs to the fourth floor to the penthouse to get a list of what to buy to eat. Oh, Meyer Greenblatt's here. Cool. Add to stream. Hey, Meyer, how you doing? I saw your new videos you just put up. I'm glad you're back to it.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you.
Let's
Good to
see.
see you.
John Goris says, wasn't Terrence Hill in The Leopard a small part, but... And Go Away says, finders keepers, LOL. Paula says, I don't know The Leopard, but I grew up watching Terrence Hill and Bud Spencer movies. John Goris says, it's got Lancaster. It's about some Italian patriarch at the turn of the century, based on some famous novel. Checking it. Paula's like an expert on everything. He's like the Star Trek computer. Working. Let's see. Paulo says, Burt Lancaster and Elaine Delon sounds interesting. And Claudia Cardinale, I have to watch that. Italian cinema had the most beautiful actresses in the 60s. Just tuned in. Is anybody there? Gratu had to pick up dinner for his wife. Paula says, hey, Meyer. And my wife says hello to you, Meyer.
Hey, guys.
You think you'll be able to come visit sometime, Meyer?
I'd love to. Yeah.
That'd be great. Everything's ready for... I talked to someone yesterday that may visit, or is going to visit in November, but I don't know if he wants that known yet. Sometimes people don't want it to be known that they're not going to be home,
Right.
you know, and exactly when. So, but I'll let people. Anyway, so what I have to go get is medium Coke, a large vanilla shake for me. We're going to get 6 corn dogs, 3 each, to make sure I remain fat. 2 broccoli bites and 2 green. These are like, I guess they're like, what do you call it? Fried green beans and fried broccoli bites. So it's at a place called Dairy Sweet. It's like a Tasty Freeze. It's been there since like 1955. And I'm going to go there, but I've got to get on the live stream to get there. So let's see, live chat. So I'm not going to end the live stream.
That all sounds great. That's a great list.
It says this message is held for review. Oh, because it has a cursing in it. John Goris said, I'd buy a Mr. Unfucking Believable Man painting. Let's talk. Okay, so they didn't like the word fuck in the chat, so I have to review it. But that's okay. All right, yeah, I could maybe paint Unfucking Believable Man for you, John Goris. Contact me. I got to make some money. Okay, and then this one, let's see, where's the chat? Yeah, so you got any new comics? Or mainly toys, or?
You know, I've been I haven't been buying very many comics lately, but I have been buying I guess, what do you call it? Books or graphic novels, you know?
Okay,
So
yeah.
so I've been buying like you know, reprints type stuff. Like I still buy Guandanaland stuff. Like I picked this up recently. This is just sitting here because this is the newest thing that I've actually purchased.
Could I see inside that? I'm
Yeah.
wondering about the reproduction quality, and everyone says it's great. Oh, you
Yeah.
got a color one. It looks great.
Yeah.
I
So
just
so let me tell you about what I've discovered newly about Guandanaland in the past few months.
okay.
So maybe the first year that I purchased stuff from them, I was buying all the black and white stuff, right? And a lot of what I was buying was just reprints of stuff that had originally been printed in black and white. But I was also buying some other stuff that were these inexpensive, like giant size, like 300 or 400 page books that were black and white. But what I discovered is that if you look deeply enough on Amazon, you can find the color stuff marked down. And
Okay.
what I would advise to anybody who's new to it or interested in checking it out, because they do have stuff that's worth picking up because they really mark it down on Amazon, but you kind of got to know how to look. So you just type in Gondwanaland Comics into the search bar and just keep going until you find these ridiculously low prices, because most of the stuff, so the difference between the color and the black and white is that it'll have the numbering here at the bottom. Oops, right there. And, if it's just a regular number with no signifier after it, like no A or no B or no -1 or -2 after it, that means that it's a color one. But if it has an A after it, it means it's black and white. Now, the thing is you just got to kind of look and find stuff that's oddly marked down up for, I don't know, willy-nilly reasons. And so this color 200-page book would have normally been like $35, but it was marked down to $8. And it's also Dick Briefer, which I happen to really like.
Wow. Yeah.
And
so this sounds like what you ought to do a show or the occasional shows where you fill people in on which things to order, because this is like taking a college class or learning Dungeons and Dragons or something. You gotta let us know, because once you get it, I mean, it's not like they're going to sell out because these are printed on demand. So
no,
it's not like you're going to miss out. So you need to do shows and fill us in, because all I know is that his reproductions of Famous Monsters of Filmland, it looks a little bit like you're looking at it through a shower door. It's like the reproduction, it's not clear enough for me. And then I was worried, is all of stuff like that? And then I got disenchanted. Okay, Forbidden Worlds. Oh, wow.
So as I mentioned, there are real gems out there to be found. And if you're watching this and you're interested in this right now, this is probably the best deal out there right now. It's Gondwanaland Forbidden Worlds, and it's the Forbidden Worlds Giant #2. And it's all color, and it's like almost 500 pages. And normally this would have been like $50 or $60, and I think it's marked down to $15 right now on Amazon, right around $15. So this is a great buy, as well as this that I just discovered recently. Have you ever heard of Sunday Picks, Ratu?
No.
So this was a Christian weekly comic that was about 8 or 10 pages that was, I guess, disseminated or passed out in churches or church youth groups. So this book is giant, also like 500 pages, and it's really interesting because it's beautifully drawn color, not only Bible stories, but fictional kid stories that are taking place during Bible times. This stuff is interesting to me. It might not be interesting to other people, but it's out there on Amazon for $20, and it's supposed to be $65. So there's good deals to be found. And I would recommend the color stuff more than the black and white stuff. And like you said, I have bought a lot of like the Famous Monsters and the Eerie reprints, the black and white ones, and it's hit and miss. Some of them are great and some of them are not great because he's just using the scans that are available to him, I believe.
Right. I see there are other people doing these things now too, as well.
I've seen that as well. There are other people that have caught on to the idea.
Okay, I'm going to add another person to the stream, so this may cause the sound to get wonky. Okay. Let's see. Oh, his sound is silenced. Uh-oh. Can't unmute your guests because they chose to mute them. I chose to mute myself. What?
Are you muted?
Oh, hold on. No, I'm not muted. Oh, that's cool. The glow coming. It's like I'm a saint. I've got this halo behind my head. Okay, how can I give him full screen? Let's try this out. Ooh, that's not nice. Shit. Fuck this. All right. Okay. All right, so let's. The echo will stop once we leave this room. So what I did is this 50s lamp just stopped working. It's the wiring. I'm sure someone that knew what they were doing could fix that. Maybe Meyer, if you know how to wire a lamp, you can help me with that when you come. It's cool. It's got like an atom bomb looking thing on top of the globe. And so it stopped working. So I just opened this window for the first time since we moved here. It's got a nice view of the roof and outside. I didn't know the previous owners had this little welcome sign hanging here. I guess they're welcoming people that are coming in from the roof into the house. So I got all these books organized, and my back is paying for it. Let's see, they're 4 high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4 times 9 is there's 36 boxes of Bronze Age and up. There's some more over here. These are independent comics, and there's a lot more. And these are all Silver Age, and there's a lot more in closets and stuff. But anyway. Let's hit on. Oh, I almost forgot the frickin' list of what I'm getting at the restaurant. So can you still hear me, Meyer? Meyer?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just had myself muted.
Oh, okay. Let me turn up the volume on the phone, and I can hear you as I go. So. And here is where I took all those boxes into here so I can organize them. I've still got a few boxes not organized. And these are DC War books. And anyway, this is, I'm going to need to get some chairs and a TV here so this can be like a living room. I've got some of Graphic Man's wonderful posters here framed. This is the guest bedroom. So whenever you can make it, Meyer, this is the bed that I've got here.
It looks great.
So gradually we're moving in. Okay. So let's take the elevator down. We turn off the lights because Joe Biden said light is bad. We should live in darkness and eat bugs. I want to play my part in stopping the upcoming ice age. I'm sorry, global warming. I mean, climate change. It's been all those things during my lifetime. There's this caution elevator.
You know where I live, Gratu? The Great Highway, which is the road that is directly on the Pacific Ocean. Like it's just the sand is on the other side of the road. It's a 4-lane highway, and it's been the same in the exact same spot my entire life, Gratu. I'm 57 years old. So there's been no raising or lowering of the ocean levels in California in almost 60 years that I've lived.
That's blasphemy. YouTube will cancel you for saying that. Let's see. I was hoping that everybody would all retire and move here, and we could take over this whole county, and it would be filled with 4-color fossils, since we're all almost at retirement age or have already retired. But I don't know. I remember my grandfather apparently had that goal. He had a giant family. I never even met all my uncles and aunts, but he thought they'd all live like on the same street, but none of them did. But he wanted his family to all stay with him. My dad, of course, joined the Army and was like all over the place, but nowhere near Philadelphia. That was my granddad that was the baseball player. Okay. Drew, I need to feed Drew before I head on out because, this is the, did you see the painting I did, Meyer?
Which one?
Well, I was
Is it
traded
new?
some books by Gotham City Comics in Arizona, and he said here that I would pay him by doing he had a blank cover for a Mad Balls versus Garbage Pail Kids comic book. He said, paint the cover for me, and I'll probably $100 worth of books, but this is the cover
No, I want to
um,
see it. I haven't seen it yet.
into the
I didn't know you
sunlight.
did that.
It's
I've
a
been,
tribute to the Silver Surfer. Um, I can't remember. Okay, so anyway, it's a little Dracula Garbage Pail Kid with Mad Balls coming at him, and he's throwing shit at the Mad Balls. My
this
wife
looks
says you can't
great.
really tell he's throwing shit, but and on the back is a close up of a Garbage Pail Kid.
You did the back too?
Um,
Is,
yeah,
is that a,
it's apparently a Gotham City exclusive because they have the little name thing, and I just put my name down there.
is that acrylic paint?
Okay, it's acrylic paint. Yeah, I just bought a whole bunch of acrylic paint. It was I had it sent to me, so I got tons of acrylic paint here and a bunch of brushes. So now I can get to doing paintings for people. I know you do great paintings. You sent me that little one from Commandy, but I think maybe if I do some paintings, I can make some extra money because we're everything I do right now, I'm getting a little bit into debt because the amount I get for retirement each month kind of wears off. So we're just it should be fine, but is making it where we can't really live on my retirement. But that's the whole goal, is to bring the whole country down, right? Oh yeah.
Well, I really
What's
like that
that?
cover. It looks really good. The cover looks really good.
You said something was good. What?
Your cover looks good.
It's cutting out.
The Madball cover,
Um,
the painting. You should do more.
now I'm back. Oh, and no longer full screen when I got out of.
Can you hear me?
We'll take a little voyage. Did you hear any of the stream I did earlier with Horror Mike?
No, I didn't. I've been kind of off the net for about 2 months now. I haven't really been watching much of YouTube, and so I'm not caught up at all on your videos or on Graphic Man for
Oh,
2
okay.
months. Yeah.
Well, that gives you
So no, I
something to
have a
do,
lot
I
of.
guess.
Tell me about it.
Oh, Horror Mike, you know him, right? He's the expert on pre-code horror, and he was talking to this guy that was also an expert on horror comics, and I was listening while I was in the shower, and then I decided, well, I'll go on because they were showing Vampirella, and I had a whole box of Vampirellas, and I thought, well, everything got real political. And Paulo came on too, and it was a very interesting discussion. Can you guys see?
Yeah, you're
Is
you're coming in choppy for me, and I can hear you most of what you're saying. But you're coming in
is
now.
the picture clear?
So you're frozen. If you can hear me, you're frozen for me right now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. You were frozen for a bit.
Oh, okay.
Where are we? Are we downtown?
This is the town square. There's the appliance store and the Masons. There's the public library. There's a gas station that's been, it's really just a prop gas station.
You know, I watched a video of yours a while back where there was it was just a short video of a parade right there in your town, right in
It was
front of
right
the
here.
hospital.
There's the movie theater. It's been there since the silent movie days. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a nice video. It's a nice town.
Yeah. There's no crime. This is that place Still Smoking Barbecue is only open on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, but it's wonderful food. And this looks like they're getting ready for the Halloween haunted house that's going to be in that building. And so, yeah, it's got cobblestone streets and everything. And it's cool to see. I just saw in that Napa Auto Parts store, it says, "Beat the Cowboys, Raider Country." I'm used to seeing Go Cowboys. So I guess the Cowboys are the enemies here. I'll show you a house that's for sale for like nothing. That's amazing over here. Is the camera still choppy?
No, it's been good.
Yeah, look at this house here. I think it's like 160,000.
Wow.
So there's not a single traffic light in the whole county. This is the busiest road coming up. This is like a highway. West South Street. Yeah, we're going to a place. It's kind of like a Tasty Freeze, but it's called Dairy Sweet. It's just I have a picture of it from the 50s when it looked a little nicer, but it's still a cool relic. But it's going to close on September 30th for the winter, and so we're trying to take advantage of it while it's still open. Unfortunately, we have a Dollar General. That's the fanciest store in town, other than the Hy-Vee. So here's the big cemetery. Looks like where Pa Kent was buried. And there's the Dairy Suite right next to the place that sells tombstones. Looks like it's pretty busy this afternoon.
Yeah, there is no soft serve culture where I live.
No soft serve culture, really. I've never heard
there's
it
none.
described like that. Never heard
Yeah,
it
it's
described like that.
I long for soft serve culture.
Man, what is soft
You wash
serve
your
culture
car and then
exactly?
you
How would
drive
you define that?
You drive your car to the Dairy Queen, and then you just park it there for a couple hours, and you hang out in the parking lot with your friends, and you look at their car, and they look at your car.
Yeah, this looks just like the John Cougar Mellencamp video, Jack and Diane, where they're getting the chili dog at the Tasty Freeze. It looks like they filmed it here, actually. So, oh shit.
Yeah, I
where is
love the
that?
fried food in those places. They have good, like, they'll take like a frozen burrito, and then they'll fry it in a deep fryer, and it will be a completely different food item after that.
Where is my fucking list? I may have to go back home because I don't see the list of what I was supposed to buy.
Oh, man.
I grabbed it. Let me see if it's over here.
Thought I saw you fold it up.
Did I fold it up?
Yeah, I thought I saw you
But where
fold
did
it
I
up.
put it? Maybe I put it in my wallet. I bet I set it down when I was feeding Drew. It's all right. It's only 3 minutes to go back home, but I better
Yeah,
go
or
back
somebody
home
in
and
the
figure out
well,
what I'm
can you read the chat? You could either
Why don't
drive
you read
home
the
or
chat to me?
somebody in the
To
chat.
me, 'cause-
Somebody in the chat could rewind the stream and then watch when you read the list and then read
Oh,
it back or type it in the chat.
oh yeah, that's really smart. Could someone do that for me?
Or Cleo could come downstairs to your room and if she could find the list, she could hold the list up to the
No,
camera
I grabbed it and took it out of the room. I think I set it
and
down.
I could read because I'm
Yeah,
looking at your
I read
comic
it.
book room right now.
I read it out loud on the stream.
Yeah, you did.
So really,
Three.
all someone has to do is rewind it, and I'll write it down.
Yeah, it was like, wasn't it a liter of
With
Coke and
six
3
corny
chili dogs?
Oh, it was 6 corny dogs.
Yeah, corny dogs.
But the side, and then she wanted, I think, a Coke, and I wanted a large vanilla shake. But the sides are my problem. Maybe Cleo can put in the chat what I'm supposed to order, and I can write it down if I can find a working pen. Is my wife still watching? Is she commenting? Boy, I feel like a dope.
Well,
This is typical.
I can't really help because I don't have the chat up and I can't read the chat because I'm on Streamlabs. So I can't see the chat. I'm on StreamYard. So I don't have YouTube up. I can't see a YouTube chat.
Right.
Because I'm on my phone. I'm using my phone to stream. So I can't read any of the chat. Sorry, chat. Maybe you guys have been commenting. I've been no help.
I can't even see the chat. So you can't see the chat either, huh?
No, I can't. I can tell we're live because I'm looking at the clock. So I know we're live.
I can't let anyone else in on the stream either because I don't have the master access to this. I'm just a guest on my own show right now.
So you can't go full
screen. I gotta go home. It'll be all right.
All right.
No, once it kicked me to this, as soon as it went off Wi-Fi and went to the other coverage from wherever, it kicked me out of being full screen.
Got it.
I don't know.
Got it. It's an adventure, man.
All right. Well, yeah, kind of.
Hey, don't drive.
Here she is. She's saying, "Don't drive." Cleo is.
Okay, I can hear you. Okay.
Can you hear? Can you hear Cleo?
This is like the time. This is like the time I had to intervene because you couldn't find your parents at the cemetery. Excuse me for having crazy fucking hair.
I know.
Okay. So
you're excused.
Just get me a Coke, and you want a vanilla shake, and we both want corn dogs.
Yeah, I know. What are your sides, though?
Well, you said
I don't know what the
get the
sides are.
broccoli bites. Can you hear me?
Right, and the string beans, right? Now it's coming back.
Yeah, that's it.
What did you want?
The chat is really funny. The chat is really funny. They're like 12 cheeseburgers, 10 pizzas.
Oh man, I wish I could have seen that.
Okay, so I get a medium Coke, a large vanilla shake, 6 corn dogs, broccoli bites, string beans, right? Is that what they are?
They call them green beans. Do not get them confused. You know that they're
green beans. And then what are your sides?
I just decided to zip it right there. The same as you.
Oh, okay. We're getting the identical orders, except for the drink.
I did it that way so it could be
Right.
easy.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, all right. I'll go order then. All right. You
Okay.
guys be a little quiet because I'm about to go. What card do I use?
The EECU.
Okay. All right. Shit. I don't know where that list went. Nice view of the cemetery. Hi. I'll have 6 corn dogs, a medium Coke, a large vanilla shake, 2 orders of broccoli bites, and 2 orders of green beans.
Is that it?
Uh-huh.
Just a little. $22.79. Like receipt.
Yes, please.
There we go. Medium.
Okay, thank you. It's not like McDonald's where they have to serve you in 20 seconds. So
Am I crazy, or did I hear them say it was like $42?
no, it's 22, I think. 42.
I heard 42, and I was like, dude.
No, I hope they didn't charge that much.
So everybody's free, like everybody. A bunch of people are talking about how like something's gonna happen like in a week or something, like something really big, like our
In the show or
economy,
just in
like
general.
no, like probably most likely our economy totally collapsing.
Oh yeah.
Can you show them the cemetery?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like right across the street.
Hold on. Yeah. Oh. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me get. I'm ferrying the shake back to the car. Yeah, I'll show. There's a big cemetery across the street, and then.
I couldn't let you drive here
Yeah,
again for that list. That was nuts.
I don't know where I put that list. The only thing I can think of is I set it down when I was feeding Drew. That must have been what I did.
That's
Okay,
because you're
so-
always doing too much shit at one time.
Well, I'm not normally live streaming when I come here.
Yeah, but you're
So-
always listening to something or whatever.
Well, So
I
got
kind
a
of
little
wish I
place
was
where you
out
can-
there.
yeah. What time is it anyway?
That's a good question. Hang on, I have my
I don't
phone.
know if it's lunch or dinner.
3:54 your time?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Because everybody was going off to dinner a couple hours ago, but they were in Europe. The people I was talking to.
I woke up super late and I was like, oh, I don't know what to do, and I like felt really bad because I feel really bad for like at least like an hour when I wake up. And then I was like, oh my god, he probably hasn't eaten all day, so I was just trying to see
Well, I
what
was going to go out and get something to eat this morning, and then I was showering, and Horror Mike was doing a live stream, and I hopped on the live stream, and we talked for hours, and then
Yeah, he's cool.
and then I started another live stream because I'd planned to do a live stream today where I was going to answer questions like you suggested I do. I should turn that into that.
Oh.
If anyone wants to ask questions, I'll answer any question because I promised I'd do that the other day. So
Maybe
I
they
don't
should.
know.
Maybe they should pop on the live stream instead of just typing them.
There could be people waiting. Are there people waiting to come on the live stream?
No, I actually looked down here and I don't see anything.
I
If
can't
there were, they're gone.
Okay. Yeah, just if anyone wants to go back in the chat to the link, you can come on and she'll let you on, I guess.
I'm looking at the
You
weird.
have the
little-
door closed so Drew can't come in because it's not really dog proof right now in the room.
I did close it for some reason.
Did or didn't?
I did.
Good, yeah, because
I think she'd already. I think she'd already be here.
Yeah, because normally I keep things up a little higher. Sometimes she'll chew on a hardcover book. That's not good.
I'm looking at the weird welcome thing in the window that I'd never seen either.
Oh no, I've never opened that shade before.
How
And so
crazy.
that lamp died. I tried 2 light bulbs, so I figure I'd use some natural light. It works just as well, and the sun doesn't come in that direction, so it should be okay. I don't really like sun coming into a room.
While we were supposed to be quiet, I was gonna start using my phone to chat stuff to Meyer, but I remembered he said he couldn't see the chat, so I didn't bother. But I wanted to ask what that doll was with the like lilac or lavender hair you were showing?
It's something new that I discovered like maybe a couple months ago from Taiwan. It's called Pili, Pili, and it's Taiwanese puppet drama. It's kind of like Team America or Thunderbirds, where it's a 20-minute episodic television show from Taiwan that is all puppet and voiceovers with the main characters are those puppets that look just like that's one of the main characters. It's pretty fascinating. It's on YouTube.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
episodes on YouTube. That was my next question.
So yeah, if you just search on YouTube Pili, Pili, and then if you want, you could put Taiwanese puppet drama after it. A bunch of them will pop up. There's a particular channel that that posts the entire episodes, and there's like over 60 episodes, and they're 20 minutes long. It's like a Taiwanese adventure drama soap opera with nothing but puppets in that style of that figure that I just showed you guys. And it's pretty cool.
Huh.
Actually. The special effects are really sick. It's impressive. You just have to make sure if you're interested, you got to enable subtitles. Luckily, they're all pretty much subtitled. I think.
It's hard for me to imagine going from the doll that you showed me, which like looked kind of more like a Barbie format, and picturing that as a puppet.
Yeah, well, they're when they do close-ups, they'll use a different puppet that'll have a movable jaw or mouth, and they'll have sticks on the end of their limbs, and and it's very elaborate. I'll just say that it's very elaborate, and it's really very well done. It's right there up on the level of Jerry Anderson with Thunderbirds and Captain Scarlet, except it's a traditional Chinese demigod story, and it's like kung fu powers and stuff like that, magic.
When I lived in Japan, I couldn't stand most of what was on TV, but then there was this guy that I just like happened to see, and he was so funny. But I don't see how that guy could get by being his character now because of like how much everything has changed. And his name was Hard Gay. And he was so awesome. He was so funny. He was really over the top though. Like he would go out into a park and he's like this guy like wearing like leather bondage stuff, but he's like hardly wearing anything. He was like talking to children. And
In Japan?
Hard Gay. I think you could look him up on YouTube.
Wow. So
I
that
wish
was
I knew how to do like all that Kenneth knows how to do, so I could go on here and like.
Yeah, you might be
show
able to
you
find
this
him on YouTube. That's a trip. I mean, that's wild. Even back then, that's really crazy. It would be crazy now, but like people, they're not really into hidden camera stuff in Japan like that. Like, you know what I mean? People would. That's pretty excessive.
Well, I mean, one time I was laughing really hard, I'll admit, but it was really bad because, like, he's always like thrusting his pelvis, and he's like very underdressed, and he's like talking to these children, and at the park, and it gets really bad, and but he was super super funny. I kind of think he came from a game show or something. But then he had like all these skits. I want to play him on here right now, but I don't know how.
Did you find him?
I'm sure I could find him right away on YouTube, but I wouldn't know how to share the screen.
Okay.
I don't even want to say anything else. I don't want to ruin him. I think you should just check him out.
And it's spelled just like it sounds, like Hard Gay.
Yeah, his name
And
is
Japanese
Hard Gay.
comedian. Is this from the 80s or 90s? When is this from?
I was there in the I was there from like early 2004 to like
Oh wow.
mid 2006.
To me that's recent.
It is recent, but the way that guy is, I don't see how he could have a career with that character right now.
Right.
I don't know though. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. And you know, Japan is different when it comes to like social culture and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think wokeism is new still in Japan for the most part.
You know what I thought was weird? Was that the beers there had formaldehyde in them. I was like, why?
I never heard of that. I didn't know that. Never heard
So
of that.
I brought that up to a friend of mine. I was like, I don't know why out here they put formaldehyde in the beer. That seems really wrong to me. Like women in the United States don't even want that in their nail polish, right? But over there they're drinking it. And my friend is like 100 times more of a conspiracy nut than I am. And right away he's like, because it's an Illuminati controlled country. And I'm like, oh, okay. I guess the sentiment being that we're all poisoned in different ways.
Right.
And their health isn't what it used to be. They were like really like, you know, they had like the world's most amazing longevity, especially in Okinawa. And it might still be there. I don't know, but people are starting to gain weight, and because the food is bad, or I think it mostly isn't. Like when I was there and I'd go grocery shopping, I would like look at the meats, and they would look like vastly impressive in comparison to ours. It just looked really fresh. And the milk was different. It was like extremely delicious. It just had a strange corn smell. And then I bought like strawberry milk once at the store, and it tasted like it had like real strawberries in it, like not really like an artificial flavor. And it was really delicious. And then I got adventurous and I tried cantaloupe milk, which was peach colored, also very delicious. But I was eating crap because I was always working, and I had like the food court across from the shop that I ran on the base, and so I was like, you know, buying garbage food like Popeyes and stuff like that from whatever I had across the road.
That sounds great. I mean, the cantaloupe. I didn't even know you could milk cantaloupe, but I mean, the shape is right.
Oh, it was regular milk with cantaloupe in it.
Got it.
So it must have just been like blended.
Blended together. Yeah.
Yeah. And that strawberry milk was incredible.
Sounds good.
I used to have to learn little phrases to like, you know, survive with taking taxis, because when I didn't know how to say a word, oh my goodness. This man just kept driving and driving, and he was like taking me up in these mountains so far away, and the mountains are getting higher and higher.
Oh no.
And one time I had a cab driver drop me off at the Japanese Navy base instead of the American Navy base, and they're like trying to check me in, and I'm like looking at the guards like, oh, oh no. So
How long were you there? How long were you in Japan?
I thought it was like 3 years, but I think it was more like 2.5. But it was really cool to never feel like you had to like look over your shoulder and watch out for other people, because everyone was really nice and not a criminal and helpful. I guess whatever real crime there is so big time that it doesn't even like affect you on the street, I guess. But
Right.
they said that the city that I was living in, Sasebo, which has the third biggest port, is one of the more boring cities. But that's okay, because it kept me out of trouble. Because I would look stuff up about what was going on in like Tokyo and Osaka. And, you know, I probably would have had a lot of hangovers and calling in sick to work and stuff. Because they had like these cool punk bands and stuff.
I just realized that this bar here, Lefties, I just realized they have a baseball theme on the sign. That's interesting. That bar, we've never been in that bar. We don't really drink, but
Or any bar.
years ago, Captain Strangelife went in that bar and says it's really cool in there, but it's walking distance from where we live. And you know, that was my grandfather was a baseball player, lefty whiner. So I wonder if I went in there and let them know that, if I would be a celebrity.
Maybe
I
so.
don't know.
Well, isn't your grandfather famous for punchings Ty Cobb?
Not Ty
Who?
Cobb. It's Casey Stengel. He
Oh,
punched
Casey
him out.
Stengel.
Yeah.
That's cool to
Yeah,
be
and then
famous for punching somebody.
well, my grandfather was a pitcher, a left-handed pitcher, and Casey Stengel thought he was aiming at his head, and he probably was, and I guess he said something about my grandfather's mother.
Oh. Yeah, because it takes me a lot to get that pissed.
Because my grandfather's
I mean-
family was Jewish, but he never mentioned that to any of his children. None of his children really ever knew that until they were older, because he married an Irish Catholic, an immigrant from Ireland, and they were all raised Catholic. But anyway, it probably was. And then it was Casey Stengel did something shitty where the police asked my grandfather if he wanted them to take him on the stands and finish the job. So the police didn't like him either. So he wasn't just an innocent victim, apparently. Of course, he's more remembered than my grandfather as far as baseball history goes.
I'm surprised you didn't have a
Am I
lot of
still on?
problems with. Uh-oh. Maybe now the problems start.
You're surprised I didn't what?
Have a lot of problems coming.
Okay, well,
When you were
you're
leaving the house,
surprised I didn't have a lot of problems. What?
when you were leaving the
Yeah.
house, you were having a lot of problems. You were like, the camera was freezing, your sound was either choppy or cutting out. You were having
Yeah.
a lot of problems. So I thought
I
right
think it
now,
was when I was leaving the Wi-Fi. I was leaving the Wi-Fi. Shit. I was leaving. This drink is spilling on me. I was leaving the Wi-Fi. I'm going to put the phone in my pocket for a second. I'll meet you up in the attic to eat.
I'm
We
gonna
can
go
still
meet
keep the stream going.
what?
But lock the door. Not lock, but close the door. But close the door of the comic book room on your way out.
Okay, hold on. Do you want me to go down there and meet
Right.
you and help you carry the stuff?
Actually, no. I'm okay. As soon as I put the phone in my pocket, I'll be all right. All right, we'll see you in a minute.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know what's going on, but I guess I'm gonna go meet him.
All right. They don't put lids on these vanilla shakes. I can call it spilling on my shirt and freezing me. God damn it! Oh, you spastic! Cocksuckers! Oh shit! Okay. All right. It's like the good old days when I did these ridiculously meaningless streams where I guess it's like the Jerry Seinfeld of live streams where I stream nothing, like going to get food.
Right.
Okay.
It's entertaining. People are entertained by it. What is it called?
Not good. I'm not going to take the
Is it called slow entertainment or slow
Cinema
TV?
Verite.
Yeah.
Slow
Well, I think there's a
TV?
new term for it. Slow TV, I think, is the new term, where it's like you just leave your stream on for 5 or 6 hours and you just show everything that you're doing the whole day.
Wait, there's
I
a
think
term
it's
for that?
a thing. Yeah, I think it's a thing.
What's
I
it
think
called
it's a
again?
thing. Slow TV. I might be wrong, but I mean, I thought I've heard that before. And
I
it's like
believe you.
people
I
that will just
didn't know
watch
it was
nothing.
a thing.
It's kind of
Yeah.
people will watch nothing. Yeah. Daily activities, just like people watching other people's daily activities. I'm pretty sure it's a thing. But I'm gonna let you guys eat. I'm gonna take off because I still have to eat too, and I'm gonna make some more tea. But if you can hear me, if chat can hear me, good seeing you guys. Wish I could read all your comments, see how funny you guys are. But I'm gonna take off. See you later, Gratu. Bye, chat. I'll see you guys hopefully on Wednesday. Hopefully I'll show up and I'll be on Four Color Fossils. Bye-bye.
Oh shit.
You're on.
I know. I guess I can't stop the live stream. I need to go downstairs to stop it. So let me do that so we can eat. I know. I guess I can't stop the live stream. I need to go downstairs. Shit. Okay. Well, I'm going to do another show probably tomorrow where I show some magazines. I'll do that downstairs where anyway, the fun of live streams. We're going to eat. See how many people. We have 10 people watching. Man Bear Pig was here. All kinds of people. Go Away was here. Pretty cool. All right. All right, guys. I guess I'll see you guys. How do I stop this shit? How do I stop this train? How do we stop this crazy thing? In broadcast.